Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash the like button the way that female high school teachers smash their students, so this video reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number 1, what's the best way to lose a woman? By being nice and giving her everything she wants, of course. But what she really wants is the drama around not getting what she wants. If you don't believe me, then here's a story about a woman that says her husband Kaka was too perfect for her, so she divorced him. If she wants flowers, buy her a plant. If she wants a beach vacation, take her on a road trip. Women only seem to be happy when they're partially satisfied. Up next, here's a woman that says she told herself that she would never be a single mother. I don't know, I think that little baby Aiden looks kind of cute in the backseat. Burn the coal and pay the toll. Too bad she listened to her hormones instead of her logic. The duck face and nose ring also don't help. This woman is also proof that many people out there still haven't discovered condoms. Either that or she thought she could make Tyrone stay, which he rarely does. He's like Santa delivering Africans and then leaving. Number 3, why is it that for many women happiness for them is seeing their ex with a woman that's uglier than they are? That just proves to them that their boyfriend had lower sexual marketplace value than they suspected, so it makes them feel better for no longer being with them. But also notice that she's alone and that her ex looks happy. It doesn't matter if a woman is not as attractive on the outside. Sometimes the woman you left is uglier on the inside. A man's peace is priceless, even if he's not with a 10. Moving on, people say this is what society would look like if Al Gore had won. Yeah, keep on dreaming. And most of the picture on the bottom left might be right. America would be poor and living in slums if Al Gore was elected president because he would have charged everyone carbon taxes to save us from climate change. Doesn't everyone remember that documentary film he made where none of his predictions came true? Plus, even if he made those places real, why would we actually want to live in such soulless urban hellscapes? Number 5, this one just proves that women vote with their feelings. If you're attractive, they will vote you in as mayor. If you look like a Somali vampire pirate, then they won't. White women probably think that all Muslim men are dreamy like Mamdani. We have the same problem here in Canada with our new Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition. Mark Carney is more charismatic than Pierre Poilievre, and I suspect that's one of the main reasons why women didn't vote for him. Up next, here's the house of the Pakistani socialist who's leading Zoran Mamdani's transition team. It's worth $2.5 million, and she went to Yale. Yet now all of a sudden she hates capitalism and is pushing socialism onto New Yorkers. Basically, she's trying to grow her own bags by stealing everybody else's. Socialists steal money and keep it in the party and give it out to party members. The poor are too stupid to realize this when they vote for the far left. Number 7, is this really what GameStop stores are going to look like when Funko goes out of business? Actually, I think this is wrong and that this is actually what GameStop stores are going to look like when Funko does go out of business. The few that'll be able to attract the odd Spirit Halloween store will be out there. Finally, modern day Beanie Babies of Funko are going out of business. I still can't believe that people are dumb enough to buy these. Lego now has brick heads, which also look like this, and they're awful too. Moving on, this woman wonders why men find it so difficult to talk to women these days. Gee, I wonder. Could it be because of the fear of rejection or the fear that she'll ruin your life with a false allegation if you talk to her and she deems you unworthy of talking to her? Also, what are you going to talk to a woman about anyway? Plus, guys, know that even if she does seem interested, she might only be interested in putting you in the friend zone, and guys are sick and tired of that. Number 9, Connor says that the modern school system doesn't prepare students for freedom. It prepares them for a life of seeking permission before acting. Depends on the student, of course. I was bullied and I had to find clever ways to literally escape the school before the final bell rang. And if I couldn't, I had to find things like the chess club to keep me entertained in the school until the bullies ended up getting bored and going home. I learned to have patience when seeking my freedom, as well as opportunities to escape and do it quickly. That's what I now do with investing. Up next, this guy saw that this professor had his tab open on his computer linking to busty college girls. Gee, I wonder what he was looking at. I guess when you got a FAP, you got a FAP. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the girls in that math or engineering class took an image capture of the professor's screen and got him fired. It could have been worse. He could have been Alex Jones and they could have seen transcorn on his phone. I guess we all know now why he likes Blair White so much. Number 11, here are all the U.S. counties where 90% plus of the population is non-Hispanic white folks. I guess now I know why Nebraska and the Northeast are such peaceful and safe places. Also, most of those places are cold, rural, and mountainous, so it makes sense why white folks would be living there. It's maps like these that explain why Catholic charities and Lutheran refugee services are placing large groups of refugees into those exact places. Won't be long before it all falls apart now. Moving on, apparently only 3% of women pay their ex-husband's alimony. Those are rookie numbers. How do we get those up? At least 50% for the sake of equality. I love seeing headlines like this because it proves that feminists only complain about things that don't benefit them. But to be honest, alimony both ways should be banned. It made sense back when women didn't work. Today, women have their own jobs and money. How many marriages has the option of taking alimony helped end? Number 13, what would you do if she's a 10 but you need 3 hands? I'd ask her if she's auditioning for Total Recall Part 2. But who needs an extra hand when I have feet and will learn to train them as well? But with an extra chesticle, she looks more like an 11. But we all know the perfect man for her is Prince Goro from Mortal Kombat. He can use 3 of his hands on those and still have one left over to stimulate her down there, if you know what I mean. Up next, Ma'am Danny says that we must change NYC to socialist. But then he's asked, didn't his daddy flee socialism twice for capitalism? And then he smiles like a moron. I've known people that left Eastern Europe in my family for the West because capitalism provided them greater opportunities, and yet they would still badmouth it. It's almost like once a communist, always a communist. But is he really a socialist because he was charging people for beers during his victory party? Number 15 looks like the woke mind virus is also busy at Coca-Cola. Workers there were asked to be less white. Being white means that you're oppressive, arrogant, and ignorant, among other things. And here I thought that race was just a social construct. Makes me wonder why someone didn't file a lawsuit. This is the sort of stuff the Anti-Defamation League was actually made to handle, instead of going after people like me. Hey Coca-Cola, it's okay to be white. Moving on, looks like Kamala Harris is coming to Toronto and charging between $2,000 and $3,000 a ticket to listen to her. Who would throw money away like that just to watch a woman giggle? Then again, maybe it's a comedy show. Even the World Series tickets in Toronto weren't going for that much earlier this year. I didn't look it up, but I'm sure that there were enough crazy liberals in Canada paying to see her. I'm sure she did well off of Canadian stupidity. Number 17, here's the difference between conservative women packing versus the liberal ones. One can end you with a bullet and the other one can end you with herpagonosyphilades. But wait a minute, I don't see a liberal woman. All I see is a liberal dude on the right. Also, how do we know he doesn't have a boomstick of his own in that man purse? I'm so tired of this. What will future generations think of our time, if they ever exist? Up next, if there's one universal truth, then it's attention, and this proves that it's always there. Back in the day, women would balance an entire tea set on their melons. She also has to be the most English woman you'll ever see. She even looks like she could have been Queen Victoria's sister. She was also most likely rich because don't you know how much money you needed to have to afford enough food to get fat in the Victorian period? She was also probably turned on by Jack the Ripper. Number 19 Elm asks, if a woman is beautiful and has money, but is still single at an advanced age, what could be the problem? Is she crazy? How about what Aaron Clary says, which is that women don't like men all that much, and now that they have their own money, they don't want us anymore? I'd assume that she's chosen not to be single, but she wants a high-quality man, and is just holding out for him. My bet is hypergamy, looking for a man with more money than her. Moving on, here's more crazy news from Cucked Canada. Trudeau changed the law so that the media can now lie to Canadians and suffer zero consequences, even if they knew they were lying. The law was repealed back in 2019, so that's when they officially became the fake news. And now the Canadian government wants to pass bills to censor Canadians posting memes and the truth on social media. I guess they only want people to believe their lies instead. Number 21, are you nostalgic for times like these? When the chocolate bars were huge and the people were small. I certainly am. Around the corner, you just know that there are Thundercat sticker albums and baseball cards with gum inside, as well as wacky stickers. There were also tons of great Spider-Man and X-Men comics and a small VHS rental section. Those were the days in variety stores before Blockbuster. Not to mention there was also a fridge full of real ice cream. Up next, here are the climate zones that are the best for human habitation. And those are the places where the majority of the world's civilizations came from. Except for Egypt, but they developed on the Nile and its delta. Mesopotamia also sprung up because it was on a river that replenished the soil each year with flooding. But those areas are hell for climates. It's often hot and dry. But if you're not lucky enough to be in one of those, then you need to be in one of the climate zones. Number 23, I'm posting this after the Canadian farmers driving their tractors around the cities on November 22nd, on all major Canadian highways. I wonder if the government froze any of their bank accounts. Probably not, because this is a one-day protest. But the truckers shut down the Canadian capital, Ottawa, successfully. And that's why the government brought out the army and froze their bank accounts. It's only when something works does a government become totalitarian. Moving on, Trump now promises $2,000 tariff dividend checks to every person in America. Not a great idea, because this will create inflation. But on the bright side, the inflation will devalue some of the debt. Just remember that when the government gives you free money, it's the most expensive thing in the world. But I wouldn't get too excited yet, because I know a lot of you guys are still waiting to get your Doge checks. Number 25 and the last one, name a worse character redesign than this one. There are too many characters to mention, but for some reason they love race swapping those redheads. Even Lego got in the spirit and gave us a black Batgirl. But why does this keep on happening? It hurts sales. It's because women won't let us have anything because they're paranoid that we'll give our attention to a cartoon instead of them. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal and Subscribe Star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.